Oh yeah, just getting ready for the rain. What's up everybody, welcome back. Haven't gotten too much done on the boat since I finished the sea deck. I've got a bunch of electrical stuff coming in. I made a couple mistakes early on. I bought some switches that were going to be a little bit too small, and I just want to make sure that I do everything right. I'm going to try my best to do it well. So still waiting on that, but definitely planning on filming a full video on the wiring of this boat. But today we're going to try something a little bit different. So this 1990 Gambler did not come with a passenger rod rack. You'll see a little plastic rod rack sitting right about here. Now sure, they could rest rods on this step and up alongside the seat, but I figured why not try it? I saw a really cool post on Bass Boat Central, and a guy made a really cool passenger rod rack out of a cutting board. Now that is definitely right up my alley. It looked really good, and I figured I would give it a shot. So I'm gonna share that with you guys today. We're gonna take this cutting board and make a passenger rod rack. I already did a little mock-up. I wanted to try it real quick, and I found a small cutting board in the van that was part of a cooler, and that's how it turned out. And it's not too bad, but I painted it and it was scratching off so easily. I'm assuming it's because of the material of the cutting board. So I had to get a black one, and unfortunately the only one I could find was black with silver flake, but I can live with that. We're gonna try to make this one nice and clean, throw some sea deck on it and bolt it in so my co-angler can have a nice little setup for the rods. So as this is a very DIY project, I found these mounts that actually belong to a wall mount for a TV, and what I'm gonna do, I'll put them back like this, is we're gonna put these on the back side and then some long bolts that are gonna come through, and that's gonna go into the rod box and it'll secure it up against that wall. Now these should give me enough space so the butt end of the rod will come through and hold it. Might have like, I don't know, 1.5 inches, something like that. I think it'll be enough. Workbench. So I got a little ahead of myself when I was doing the test piece. Drilled the holes and I installed it in the boat, so I have to make sure that the hole pattern is the same on the new one as the old one. So I drilled the holes first. Now I'm going to cut out a pattern or shape, and from there I'm going to go ahead and drill out probably 6, maybe 9 rod holes for this, lay it with some sea deck, cut the sea deck out, and hopefully we're good to go from there. Hiding out in the garage. We've got our piece cut out. I sanded down the edges a little bit. It's not perfect, but I think it'll look okay. One of the main things was, again, with the paint on the first one that I did, just how easily it scratched up. And that inside being white, it's just small, nitpicky kind of deal. But I realized I needed to get a black cutting board, which is why I'm doing this. And I wanted to share this video with you guys in case it would help somebody, and just to show you how easy this really is. I'm not very skilled with any of this stuff. I just saw it and wanted to try it. I can barely measure and cut, so if I can do this, you can 100% do it, trust me. Now that we've gotten here, I'm gonna try to measure out where I want the holes. And on the last one, I did it in sections of 3, and I just took a 1.25 inch hole saw, and I basically drilled 3 separate holes, which were supposed to be separate. And I went back through with the Dremel and just smoothed out that top edge. And for this one, I think I might just try to do 9 individual holes, somewhat offset like this one was. I'm gonna measure it out and see how it looks. Took a little time and drew out what I'm hoping it'll look like. I'm gonna try my best to do individual holes, but if it gets too close or if they overlap a little bit, then I'll go ahead and just make it one solid piece like I did on the last one. I very well may be doing something wrong, but it is a little annoying using this specific tool. I believe it's a hole saw. I'm not a real handy dude. I don't know the names of everything, but every time I drill a hole, I need to take it apart, put it back together. It doesn't take long, but I feel like something as this would probably be the better bet for drilling this. Just maybe a little bit easier, a little less time consuming. This plastic gets down into this bit, basically impossible to take out without taking the whole thing apart. But so far so good. Got our first 3 holes there. Hello. Well, that one decides it. We're gonna cut these center pieces out. Yep. Priscilla just left to go to some flower shop. Listen to this dog. What you barking at, boy? Hey! Okay, so I cut them a little bit too close, and I decided that I am going to go ahead and make that straight line across the top. I'm going to try to leave a little ramp in between them just to give the rods, or the butt end of the rods, somewhere to somewhat sit. But picked up the oscillating tool, and actually I found out this thing cuts through this plastic way better. Might have just start this whole thing over. I wish I had a little more on the sides. I mean, it's obviously got some flex in it because there's no material on the sides there, but it's still strong enough. Like, I'm sure this would be perfectly fine. Definitely not perfect, but it would work. Right now, my only question is if I should continue with this or grab another piece, use this as a template, and go with something with a little more meat on the sides. I might just go ahead and throw C-deck on this and see how it turns out. I really need a garage. Alright. So, last things last, I just need to drill out the holes, make them a little bit bigger too. I realized that they're a little small, but turned out okay. I guess about as good as the first one, honestly. But this one is black, and the only issue that I ran into was when I was cutting it, the plastic itself actually melted, so it doesn't look very clean. I might be able to go through and sand it with some finer grit sandpaper, and it might clean it up. It seems like the best way to cut this is just with something super sharp. When I was trying to clean it up with the Dremel tool, it does sand it down, but it almost makes it melt, so it kind of gives it that gritty, melty look on the inside. So I just need to figure out a way to clean that up, and then I'd be pretty happy with it. Now, I guess the only difference between these two, the bottom, I just went with 2 single holes, which I think will be fine. It kind of offsets from the middle too. When you're setting your rods in there, the reels will end up sitting on top of each other. So I figured if I put those 2 kind of offset, might be able to fit an extra rod or 2 in there. But I'm gonna go ahead and drill those holes, and then should be done. We can go throw it on the boat if we can get a little break in the rain. There you go. She's done. The only thing left is to rig it up and try to figure out a way to clean up the inside just a little bit. All right, well, I went and got some dinner and we got a little break in the rain, so I'm gonna put this rod rack on the boat and show you guys what it looks like. overall, I would say turned out okay. The main reason I'm sharing this video with you guys is just to give you a little bit of inspiration. If you do have something that you're working on like this, just give it a shot. This obviously, again, is not perfect, but I think it turned out pretty good. It's gonna work just fine. And if it breaks, I got 3 cutting boards for like 10 bucks, and I'll just go with the thicker one on the next one. That was something else I realized after cutting into this one and shaping it up. I picked the smallest cutting board, and it was also the thinnest, which probably should have gone up one size at least, but I'm still gonna try to finish it up a little bit nicer. Like that darker black color like I really want isn't there, but it's almost there, and I should be able to figure out how to do that. I'll also paint the heads of the bolts black just to look a little nicer. I'm not super handy by any means. I'm not good at building things, but I've decided that I wanted to try to start learning. So I'm sure you guys would be able to measure and cut and make it like real pretty and perfect, but I'm happy with how this one finished up. So I hope this video helps you guys out. Let me know in the comment section below if you enjoyed it. If you want to see more content like this, also please let me know down below. I got a bunch of switches in today, so I'm going to be working on all the electrical and wiring of this boat next. So make sure you hit that subscribe button for me. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.